Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the 25 main SAT math concept summary videos, and today we are gonna do percentages. So here is every single percentages concept that you need to know if you're preparing for SAT math. Now, I'm not gonna teach you about percentages, that what are percentages and how to actually find out percentages, because you have learned all that in your middle school, in your grade 6 and grade 7. So I'm not going to teach you how to find out percentages, but we are going to look at different types of questions that you can expect on your SAT math exam. So on the left hand side, inside this rectangle, I have written three concepts which are basically tested on SAT math. First one is finding out X percent of something. Second, finding X percent more or less of something. Third, finding out what percent of something is known. So if original quantity it's like percentage of something is known, and we have to find out the original quantity. These are the three concepts which are tested on SAT math, and there is one, and then there are some good to know tricks. It would really save your time if you know about these three tricks. Common percentages, well, those are not actually tricks, but you should know about a few common percentages, so we will look at that. And then there is something called reverse percentages rule. That's a really great hack. And then finally we have the concept of percentage change, percent change. Okay, so let's get started. So I've taken three questions, three types of questions that you can expect on SAT math from topic of percentages. First one is Victor invests a part of his $5,000 in a savings account that pays 4.5% annual simple interest. He invests the rest in bonds that pay 8% annual simple interest. Okay. Let S be the amount invested in savings. So we need to highlight this. S be the amount that is invested in the savings, and R is the amount that is invested in the bonds. Victor's total income in 1 year from these investments is 305 and 50. Which of the following systems of equations represents this relationship? So over here we have been given four options, and in each of these four options there is a system of equations. We have to find out that which system of equations represents this situation going on over here. So what do we have here? So S is the amount invested in savings, and R is the amount invested in the bonds. And then finally, what is the total amount that he can invest? This is the amount that he can invest, $5,000. Okay, so that means that this should be equal to the sum of savings, the amount that he's investing in the savings, and the amount that he's investing in the bonds. So that means this amount should be equal to the sum of S and R. So we get one equation as S plus R should be equal to $5,000. Now here is one recommendation that I'll give you. Do not try to look at the options. Try not to look at the options. If you will look at the four options, there are 75% chances that you are going to select the wrong answer choice, because that's how the SAT math test creators set up the answer choices. They know that what mistakes you're going to do, so they will set up the options by knowing the mistake that you're going to do. So try to solve a question by yourself and then select the option. But in some questions, elimination also works, so in that case you will need to look at the options, but in this one I will recommend that do not look at the options. So we already have one equation, S plus R equals 5,000. So that means option A cannot be correct, and option B can also not be correct. So S plus R equals 5,000, S plus R equals 5,000, so it has to be either C or D. Then we have one more information that says that in the savings account it pays 4.5% annual simple interest, and the bonds pay him 8% annual simple interest. Okay, so if savings is if from savings he's getting 4.5% of interest, then that means that amount is gonna be 0.045 of S, and then 8% interest he's getting from the investment that he is doing in bonds. So that means he is gonna get 0.08 R. So this is the total amount that he will get from his investment, and that is equivalent to, in 1 year his investment is 305 and 50. So that means this has to be equal to 305 and 50. Let's see which option that is. 0.045 times S, that is option C. So this question was based on first concept, where you have to find out X% of something. So here you had to find out 4.5% of S. So 4.5% of S is 0.045 times S. 8% of R is 0.08 R. It's a different thing that values of S and R are not given, but even if the values of S and R had been given, you just have to multiply it and divide by 100. Okay, next we have this year's enrollment in Mesa School District is 6,000, which is 20% higher than last year's. So what was last year's enrollment in Mesa School District? So I am gonna remove all these options. Wait a second. Okay, now the second question is based on second concept, finding X% more or less. Let's do this. So we have a school and the enrollment this year, so I'm going to write this year. So enrollment this year is 6,000, which is 20% higher. So you literally have to translate English to math. So 20% higher. Higher means plus, higher than last year's enrollment. Now we don't know what was last year's enrollment, right? So let's assume that last year's enrollment was X, right? So 20% more than last year's enrollment. Okay, so that's it. Now this 20% is 20% of last year's enrollment. So this is basically nothing but 20% of last year's enrollment plus the last year's enrollment. And now all you need to do is just solve for X, and 20% of something is just 1/5. So 1/5 of X plus X. Okay, so this is 6x over 5. So 6,000 is equal to 6x over 5, and after doing some modifications we are going to get 5 times 6,000 over 6 equals x. This goes 1,000 times, so value of x is 5,000. So the last year's enrollment is 5,000. Now you should check your answer. You should see if the percentage change from this year to next year is coming out as 20%. So all you have to do is, to find out percentage change, you have to take the difference. So 6,000 minus 5,000. 6,000 is this year's enrollment, 5,000 is last year's enrollment, and you have to divide this by whatever original enrollment was. So original enrollment was 5,000, so divide that and multiply that by 100. So 6,000 minus 5,000 is 1,000 over 5,000 times 100. So this goes 1 over 5 and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So we're getting 20%. That means our answer is correct. Alright. So this was based on second concept, finding x% more or less of something. Now let's look at the final type of percentage question. The sale price of a laptop is $505.44 after 35% discount and 8% additional tax. What was the original price of the laptop before discount and after tax? So first of all, you should know what is discount and what is tax. Discount is something that we get. Discount makes the original price less. You know, you must have heard of sale. There's some sale going on, or there is some offer going on. So from the original price you subtract some percentage of that price, so that means you're getting discount. So whenever we are talking about discount, that means you have to decrease the original price. And tax is something that gets added to the original price. It can be service tax, it can be VAT, it can be GST, it can be anything. So tax is some additional amount that you have to pay in addition to the original price. So tax is something that always increases the original price. Okay, so now we have the final price. This is final price of the laptop. This is the sales price. Okay, this is the sales price, 505. This is the final price at which the consumer is buying the laptop. This is not the original price. We have to actually find out the original price after discount and after tax. Okay, so if this is the original price, this is the final price, and so obviously you will get this after applying the discount and after applying the tax. So let's assume that the original price was X. Let's assume that the original price is X. So from original price, first you have to decrease the discount. So you will subtract 35% of X. So 35% of X is 0.35 times X. Okay. This is your discounted price. So this is nothing but 0.65x. So this is the discounted price, and then to this price we have to add the 8% tax. Okay, so 0.65 of x plus 8% of this price. So 8% of 0.65x. That will be the final price, which is given to us in the problem as 505.44. Alright, so 0.65x. So I can actually factor out 0.65x. 8% is going to be 0.08 times 0.65x equals this. So I'm factoring out 0.65x. After doing that, I get 1 plus 0.08, that is equal to this. So 1 plus 0.08 is going to be 1.08 times 0.65x equals 505.44. So x is nothing but 505.44 divided by 0.65 times 1.08. Now this is exactly where you should use your calculator. If you don't know, you'll be allowed to use calculator on each and every problem in Digital SAT. So you can use your calculator here and you will get the value of x as $720. So the original price of the laptop was $720. After applying the 35% discount and 8% additional tax, the final price was $505.44. So these are the different types of questions that you can expect on SAT Math from the topic of percentages. And now, as I mentioned, that we will discuss some good to know tricks and hacks about percentages. So first one is common percentages. So you should know some common percentages, the fraction values of some common percentages. The first one is 10%. 10% is, if you convert it in fractions, it is 1 over 10. Next we have 20%. 20% is 1/5. Next we have 25%. 25% is 1/4. Then we have 50%. 50% is 1/2. Then we have 75%. 75% is 3/4. And then we have 100%, which is nothing but 1. So it's always good to know the fraction values of these common percentages, and now I'll tell you why it is good to know the common percentages. So the second rule is reverse percentages rule. In this one, these common percentages will come really handy. So now let's assume that you have to find out what is gonna be 17% of 25. Now finding out 17% is going to be really messy, because you will have to multiply 17 with 25 and divide that by 100. What you could actually do is, by using the reverse percentages rule, percentages can be actually reversed. So 17% of 25 is actually same as 25% of 17. And now we know that 25% is nothing but 1/4. So now all you need to do is find out what will be 1/4 of 17. And I know that 16 goes 4 times. So this is going to be 4, and then 1 is left. So 1 divided by 4 is 1 over. So 4, 1 over 4. Or you can write it as 4.25. That's how simple it is. And then third one is percentages change. So percent change is given by, so you have to find out, so let's say this year I had something and next year I had that number of something. So there is some change that is happening. So if you have to find out percentage of that change, so what you will do is you will find out the difference of change. So what you will do is you will do new value minus original value, and you're going to divide that by the original value and multiply that by 100. So that will give you the percentage change. And if you're getting this as a negative number, let's say negative 11%, that means that your new value has decreased. Only then you will get a negative number when you do new minus original. Okay, so I guess that's about it. This covers all the possible concepts that you need to know about percentages, but again, just by watching this video, it's not going to be enough for SAT math. As I always say in every video, you need to practice more and more and more and more questions, as much questions as you can practice. That will actually give you an idea about the different types of possibilities in which a question can be framed from every single topic. So good luck for your SAT math prep. I'll see you in the next video.